All right, so my brothers that eventually want to get married, I'm going to give y'all some tips on some red flags you want to notice whenever you begin to court a woman. Because the devil will most likely send you a counterfeit. And I don't need none of y'all getting caught up in that. So, go around this if you can. Number one, whenever it comes to anything that doesn't benefit her, that's in the word, and it aggravates her, that's a red flag. A lot of times people like to take things out the Bible that benefits them, things that they can benefit from. But when it comes time to, hold up their end of the bargain, it's a problem, or it's like a huge tug on them. As humans, we're here not to serve self. We're here to serve God and serve others. So you want your person to be completely selfless, as you should be selfless. You already know the type of things I preach. Number two, the woman she is single is the woman she's going to be in a relationship. That's just, it sounds simple and it sounds plain, but that's what it is. Because who you are is who you are. So if somebody if they want to be a certain way single and be another way while they're in a relationship, that's not authentic. That's not authentic at all. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all, date multiple women, be a player, but when you get in a relationship, be faithful. I used to tell y'all that when I was worldly, when I didn't find God, whenever I didn't know God. You see how that changed? You see how I changed that tune real quick? You know what I'm saying? So the woman she is single is the woman she's going to be in that relationship. No matter how much she try to dress it up. She have to find God, and she have to want to change for God for her to change for you. You know what I'm saying? But she got to do it for herself. She got to do it for God. This is why it's important for her to fear the Lord. Because if she don't, and that leads me to my next point. If she don't fear the Lord, she's going to live with no conviction. Anything that she don't feel is wrong, it won't be no conviction attached to it. This is why you see a lot of women who are not modest at all. They're like, I believe in God, but they don't feel no type of way. They don't see nothing wrong with it, even when God speaks against it. But they don't feel convicted enough. They feel like, well, it is what it is. They try to brush past it. You don't brush past God's word. You sit there, you meditate on it, and you try to correct yourself. Granted, we all know not perfect. It's going to be some stuff that's going to pierce our skin in different kind of ways, but at least try, Ain't nobody expecting you to be perfect, and ain't nobody expecting you to change overnight, because, a lot of times it don't work that way. But whenever you see a woman that fears the Lord and she's trying to become the woman that God intends her to be, that's what you want to look for. Another thing, if she's too influenced by the world, so if she still care about the opinion of man, if she still care about the opinion of women, just man in general, humanity, that's going to hinder y'all growth and y'all relationship, because as Christians, we're to be set apart from the world and not care what the world think. You know what I'm saying? You can't serve the world and you can't serve God. You can only pick one. So if you serving God, the only person opinion that should matter is God's. That's it. So if you find somebody that you're trying to court and they care too much about the world, that's who they serving. I put it to you this way. It's people's job to make things look good. So whenever the enemy is using somebody, it's amped up in the spiritual world. So things that you see in the physical, it kind of just look like, oh, this is the norm, or this is just the role. But when you see it in the spiritual, and that's going to lead me to my next point. When you see it in the spiritual, you understand exactly what's going on. I tell you how to go on semen retention. You want to be obedient to God. You want your spiritual eyes open. When you go on semen retention long enough, your spiritual eyes open, and you literally have an x-ray on these women's heart. It's not a guessing game no more. It's no longer a guessing game. Go on semen retention. Focus on God. Build that relationship with God. Clean up your diet. Watch your spiritual eyes open. You see right through them. Another thing, if she don't like authority, and some people hear that and automatically get turned off. Y'all know what I mean by authority. We're not here to control nobody. We here to be vessels for the Lord, and there's an order that Christ wants us to be in, and that goes God, Christ, man, woman, kids. So anything out of that order is going to be out of order. So if she finds a hard time submitting to a man or listening to a man, there's trauma. There's trauma attached to that, And I'm not talking about just any man. I'm talking about a Christ-led man, because it sounds good. You hear him say, I don't mind if he's submissive. I don't mind being submissive if he's a man of God, or if he's being led through God. It's one thing to say something, but it's another thing to actually do it. Because if you haven't healed from your traumas, if you have that God-fearing man, your trauma going to try to cling on to that pattern that you already know. So if you're not truly healed from that, there's going to be some type of resistance. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you got to heal. You don't got to do it by yourself, sweetheart. You got God. You don't got to do it by yourself. So fellas, you want to pay close attention to that. Pay close attention. Know her by her fruits. It's her job to put on a representative. It's her job to present things good, But it's one thing to present good and actually be good. You get what I'm saying? Because with God, when God is using you, there is no, I need to put on my best. You just be, and that's the state that I want y'all to be in. Be authentic, be men of God. When you a man of God, you don't got to pretend. You don't got to make it seem good, because you already sold out for Christ. you already know you got the fruits. So it ain't nothing to prove. You ain't got nothing to prove to the world. All you got to do is keep pleasing the Father. But these are the things you want to look out for. You know, pay attention to how she is when she's single. Pay attention to how she feel about authority. You know, this is why you got to just listen. Keep your high beams on. People will tell on themselves every time. Just let people talk and allow them to reveal themselves. You just test the spirit, see in the spirit, but you got to make sure you're in the spirit. You get what I'm saying? So make sure you walk in with Christ. Make sure you're in a state of love. So when you walk in with Christ, you being that man of God, anything that doesn't align with that is going to be highlighted, because now you're a light. When you become a light, the darkness in you exposes itself, and the darkness around you exposes itself. All you got to do is keep obeying Christ and stay in observation mode, and everything will be revealed to you. I hope this helped.
Hey folks, this is Jeff with This Week with JTT, and this man here, I think his name is Rashad Awaken. He's a very godly and Christian brother, which I think is pretty cool. He just probably gave his life to Christ and seems to be doing good, which is great. He did say something about the red flags you guys see in a counterfeit woman. And the sad part is there are women who have no problem thinking of funk. They would try to say, oh, I'm a little traditional, or I am a bit of a Christian. No, you can't be a little traditional, or can't fake a Christian. If you're going to say you're a Christian or give your life to Christ, you can't just go a little bit apart. You got to go all the way. Translation, taking accountability and responsibility. The whole thing. You can't just say be Christian or be traditional when it's convenient for you. Trick is you got to be all those things, traditional Christian, even at the most inconvenient times. That's where the true test comes in. But here's some of the red flags that is in a counterfeit woman. And if you watch carefully enough, be observant enough, you will see it. You gotta have open eyes, and most importantly, do not be afraid to pray upon it. If you keep your eyes open, pray to God, or you'd be surprised when you see the person if you remain alert enough. For example, if it doesn't benefit her and aggravates her, red flag. Plain and simple. Like say, if she don't want you going out with your friends and all that, okay, I'll spend time with you. But if you want her to don't spend so much time with her friends, go to certain places she shouldn't be going, and she gets aggravated, yeah, big red flag. Next one, if the way she acts single is the way she can act in a relationship. Like I said, going back to the first point, she loves going to clubs, loves dressing provocatively. Bet you go to clubs where a lot of guys go to hit on her and try to sleep with her. Yeah, and she thrives in that type of atmosphere as opposed to being with you, and instead as a red flag. And she'd rather be at a club, being hit upon by men, or have a social media account having tons of guys dropping DMs like crazy. Yeah, big red flag. So basically, just because she get married, you think she's gonna change? No. If she's married, she still want to go to these clubs, get hit upon with all these men, or keep the social media account to get tons of DMs dropped on her by all these thirsty men. The way she is single is the way she could be married. If she acts like a 3 or 4 single, guess what? Yeah, you don't want to know the rest. She should be God-fearing, which is obvious. Is basically you gotta be in the same spiritual wavelength. You cannot be unevenly yoked. Plain and simple. As I said, you cannot be unevenly yoked. It can't be you're in the right, but in right with God and she's not. It will not work. It'll be a massive problem. It'll be a battle every time. So if she's God-fearing, God-loving, and Christian, at least trying to be Christian, like I said, I appreciate a woman who who had no problem want to learn and and be respectful to God. As to a woman who just no, that's too much of an inconvenience. But not perfect, no question about it. And if she's willing to learn about Jesus and learn more about God for God's word, yes, welcome her in. Too worldly, too easy influenced by the world. It's done maybe social media say, oh, you gotta wear this, or you gotta listen to this music, or you gotta try these drinks when you shouldn't be trying. And she's too worldly, and she's more about pleasing the world than God, yeah, major red flag. What else? Yeah, saying goes, you cannot serve two masters. Love one, hate the other. Mm. Well, this was the big one right there. She has a problem with authority. You know what? She will not submit to her husband. And she be the one who like be like these minded feminists say like, oh, don't submit to him, man. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Another red flag. The moment she does that, there's a very good chance you gotta walk away from her. And now, in short, you gotta pay close attention. Cause like there are women who swears up and down, well, I'm traditional, I'm God-fearing. Yeah, right. Put that to the test. But what do you think, folks? You think that that it's legit, or you think he's out of line? I think he's legit. If you want a good traditional woman, those things you gotta watch out for a counterfeit woman. Like I said, counterfeit woman. The only thing I have a problem with is counterfeit woman sounds like a transgendered woman. That's counterfeit. That's counterfeit to a T. The scary part, I see some transgender women who almost pass for female. That's counterfeit. But maybe just me. But what do you think, folks? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Peace.